So I have this secret confession I have to make on the air. Yeah, I did it. I switched from iPhone all the way to the Droid. And I'll tell you one thing. A lot of people are doing that. They're liking it. I freaking don't. I want to switch back to Apple. Here we go.
Life of a door knocker can be tough. Having doors slammed in your face on a daily basis, people not exactly hearing what you have to say.
What?
Not the most friendly customer.
Not interested. Now get the off my property, and by the way, go get a real job.
The good news is, it doesn't have to be that way. Welcome to the Door-to-Door Mastery Podcast, where it's all about increasing your confidence, building rapport with your customers, and closing more sales. Here is your host, Paul Shakuri.
I'm having way too much fun here on the air. Right now, I actually have it on live, YouTube, streaming it, successful door knocking, door knockers. I actually have the video in front of me so I can see myself as I'm moving, if you're wondering why I'm going all crazy on YouTube here. Hey, this episode's about bringing you more information, quality content, getting you to that next level, closing your sale today, because you need to understand, if you're not going to go out today and knock, how on freaking life's God's created earth are you going to be able to close a sale? So we're going to talk about the details of that, about not going out or possibly going out and not really knocking the full day to your potential. How many times have you gone out there, okay, and you did not complete the full day and you actually went home early? Ooh, did I get on that touchy topic? Did I get on that touchy subject? Well, if you ever had a day where you say, I'm not going out to sell today because I'm just not feeling good, or I'm just not feeling it, there's no point. You know, the mass majority of you who do that, it's the reason for it being, and if you want to get better, again, you're listening to the show because you want to close more sales, or if you haven't gone through this and you're going to, think about it. Why are you doing that? Why is it that door knockers do that? They go through that phase quite simply because the feeling of going out there and getting rejected overweighs the thought of possibly getting a sale. So how about feeling that you're going to go out there, knock, and not get a sale? How does that feel? You know, have you thought of that? I know I sure have. I've thought of it many times when I got started. When I was at the top of my game and I was out there knocking on doors, consistently selling, 1 all the way to 3, 5 accounts a day, it never entered my mind whether or not I was going to get a sale for more than literally a second or two, because I overcame that power, that emotion that's within me. It's just an emotion controlling you. Now, understand that I know you may not have the skill to close a sale a day every single day now. You may not, okay? I'm open to that. I know that. However, if you allow that emotion, that internal emotion, just really subside within you and grow all within your chest, your legs, your mind, your body, your spirit, it overpowers every single thought of you even going out there and attempting to get your sale. Now, I want to make something clear about this, okay? The reason why you have no chance at closing the sale if you go out there, okay, is because quite simply, you're not talking to that person, right? If you talk to 0 people today, what's the odds you're going to get a call back, or you're going to have somebody who just is going to knock on your door and say, excuse me, are you an actual door-to-door salesperson who can sell me a product or service? It's more than likely slim to none. It's not going to happen, okay? Unless you're dreaming when you're sleeping at home. But it's not going to happen. So let's stop and think about something here. I want to break it down. I'll make it comedy, but also break it down. The more doors you knock on, okay, that means the more people you're going to talk to, the higher chances you're going to close that sale. Ooh, what does that mean? The more people you talk to, there's one of two things. Number one, the more people you talk to, the more sales you're going to close. That's true. It's true. However, more importantly, the more doors you knock on, the more education you learn, the better you get. So there is no failing day if you go out there and you knock on doors. If you didn't get a deal, you didn't fail. You got that much more educated. Be in tuned with the way you're knocking, okay? Be in tuned with how many sales you're actually getting. And more importantly, every door you knock on, you are actually getting paid if you continue to push through until you get your sale. So one thing I tracked was how much money was I making on every single door I knocked? How much money was I making on every single homeowner or potential customer I talked to? And how much money was I making per day? So let me break those down for you. Number one, how much were you making in the day was quite simply, the addition of all your commissions that day. Well, how much were you making per doors? So for you members of my door-to-door mastery program over at masterd2d.com, and that's the number 2, but masterd2d.com, you have my worksheet, right? My worksheet, it lists out the homeowners that you talk to. You can actually log it, cross them off, the sales, you circle them. You have that sheet that you can download, okay? So with that worksheet, you can calculate. This is what I did. You can calculate exactly how many doors you knocked on, how much money you made. So let's just say you made $500 in commissions that day and you knocked on 500 doors, okay? Not talked to, you just knocked on 500 doors. You take $500 and you divide it by 500 doors, and I'm making it easy for you, the math here, okay? You take $500 divided by 500 doors, and that works out to $1 per door. You're not going to knock on 500 doors. I'll tell you that much. But that's knock on a door, walk to the next door. You made $1 on every single door you knocked on. Is this a different angle to look at it? Could this possibly be the solution to you not closing a sale? I'll tell you, it helped me and the people, my students that I coach daily here on the Door-to-Door Mastery podcast, on the Door-to-Door Mastery show. It helps you. Instead of just shooting for, I didn't close a sale today, I didn't close a sale this week, how many doors did you knock on? Okay? If you're not knocking on any doors, you're not closing any sales. It's plain and simple. Okay? If you're not calling back those homeowners that left their number, you're not closing that sale. If you're not leaving business cards at every single door, you are not going to get that sale. The chances are 0. So for people who want to get business cards, I am an affiliate for a company who is the least expensive company that I can find for business cards. I highly recommend getting 1,000 business cards, okay? You can go over to my Door-to-Door Mastery blog at doortodoormastery.com, and at the top you can click on resources. You'll actually see the link to my red tag print is what they're called. If you do decide to order business cards through my affiliate link, I want to thank you so much, obviously, for the support, because that helps support and fund the show. But more importantly, it doesn't cost you anything to do it through my link. You don't get a discount if you go direct to them, okay? They just give me a cut for referring them. This is what affiliate marketing is about too. I want to teach you guys about that. Once you start making money with door-to-door sales and you want to actually reach out into affiliate marketing, me and my cousin also partner with that stuff. I can teach you how to do that. Okay, that's why it's important to master door-to-door sales, so you have the money and the time and the resources to actually go out there and implement, do other things with your life. Light that fire underneath you. The more doors you knock on, the more sales you're going to get. Order 1,000 business cards for yourself. I used to do it for all my actual knockers, door knockers. They 1,000 business cards. And even if you got one sale out of the 1,000, it paid for your actual cards times 1,000. It's ridiculous. Cards are literally, I think, $27.99 for high quality, glossy. These are the best top of the line quality cards. They're not cheap stuff, okay? For literally $27.99 for 1,000. It's ridiculous how inexpensive. So go to the Door-to-Door Mastery blog at doortodoormastery.com, click on resources, and you'll actually see that actual print. You can even get cards. I bought stock cards. Yeah, they worked. They were profitable, but business cards were the best. I highly recommend stock cards too later on when you want and you can afford it, because it worked for me. But just hand them out with business cards. It shows more validity, if that's the word, of who you are, what you're doing, and what you represent. It's important that whole emotion out of your potential customer of, who is this person? Is he legit? Is she legit? Did she work for a real company? Is she here to just scam me? It gets rid of those things when you have a business card that you can present. If you can present to them a postcard, you don't leave it in, that's it, goodbye. but you hand it to them showing that you are a company. And when you're out there, you're talking, you're pointing, you're actually leaving them with stuff in case you do want to leave, but you at least have that potential chance of them calling you back. Are the odds of them calling you back low? Yes, absolutely. However, if you do it to every person, one in every 1,000 you actually, business cards you let go of, I've seen personally about 10 sales come in, and that's rewarding. To have 10 sales just come off of here you go, I'm there anyways. You don't want it, like I always say, give them my number. I'll give you my card. I'll print out and buy business cards so you can hand them out for me, and I'll go over there all day long and close those sales. I'll take the money for it. Why not? So you need to start thinking like that. This is another way you can increase your sales. Okay. So you focus on that, the big picture of how much money you made per door, but more importantly, how about the homeowners, the qualified people you talk to? So let's just say, you're knocking on doors and a potential customer is a homeowner. So you talk to a homeowner every time you do that. Let's say I talked to 20 homeowners in a day and I closed one sale. Well, the $500 I made commission on that sale, let's just say, divide that by the 20 homeowners. That makes up the amount you got paid per person you talk to. You want to break it down to more details? Estimate how long you talk to each person. You can see how much you're getting paid per hour, divided by the amount of hours in a day that you're knocking on. That's how much you're getting paid per hour to knock on doors. This is the statistics that you need to be. You can, and I highly recommend it. I know it may be a little confusing at first, but you need to focus on these types of things, because getting your mind out of just knock, 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 the whole rotten routine, you got to increase your sales in a way where you're looking at statistics. The world's wealthiest people all look at statistics. They look at statistics. They look at statistics. They look at statistics. And you should be as well. It's no different with door knocking.
DoorToDoorMastery.com, your source of motivation, information, and inspiration to closing more sales. Selling door to door. That's DoorToDoorMastery.com.
Oh, I get so much pleasure. What? From knocking on doors. Get your mind out of the gutter. Gosh, I heard that emotion that you just had. I really do. I get so much pleasure out of getting a sale. Hey, I play hockey. I get so much emotion out of letting a black little rubber thing cross a line. Isn't that insane? Think about the concept behind hockey. A black little rubber thing that's made up of molecules gets, there's a transfer of energy. I'm not the scientist, but the transfer of energy, mechanical energy into, what's the energy? Gosh, you probably know if you're one of these, that passes and crosses a line, and you get so much emotion where you'll get your back break from getting hit on the ice, get into fights, all for this black rubber crossing a line. How about this knocking on doors to close a sale? I think of door knocking the exact same way as I do when I play any sport that I enjoy, okay? If I play any sport that I enjoy, it's number one, when I land on the ice, it's what can I do to make a pass to create a goal, to set up a goal, or what can I do to crash the net to get an actual goal? To have that black little rubber thing pass that line and say, yeah, that emotion that I closed my actual goal, close the sale. That's how you have to think. You have to link up enough pain to stepping off the ice, knowing that you lost 3-1 or that you didn't score a goal. If every single person, offenseman on the team or defenseman at the point or whatever it is, the sport you play, thought of, I have to get a goal before I step off the ice, how many more goals would your team have? It's insane. It's the same thing with sales. Every day you go out there, I have to get a sale, because the emotion of not getting a sale is going to hurt so much that it hurts more. That emotion of not getting a sale hurts more than me not even going out there and doing anything at all. That emotion or it overpowers you. You have to understand that in order to drive sales, you need to push and work so hard out there that you're doing whatever it takes that's legal and reasonable to actually get your sale. So let's get you thinking about the massive pleasure that you will acquire from achieving that sale. The massive pleasure that you will acquire. The truth and the matter of fact is that each door you knock on, you're getting paid. Remember that. Okay? So once you get your sale, you have to divide it like I talked about. You have to get excited about each door you knock on. And when you get rejected at a door, know that you're going to use double the energy at the next door, like I always teach. Because when you do, you use more energy at the next door, you are going to close your sale a lot quicker, as opposed to getting beat up at that next door. You knock on the next door and, the homeowner tells you not interested, you get beat up, yada, yada, yada. And the whole trickle effect happens. You don't want to knock on the next door because you're getting emotionally hurt, emotionally scarred, whatever it is. Don't do it. Trust me, it hurts. I understand that. But the better you get, the less rejection you have. Okay?
Let's hear from this week's door knocker.
Can I help you?
Yeah. Absolutely, you can, Mr. Bradley, sir. This is actually Mr. Lee M., okay? I watched your video, the opener, today, and found it somewhat helpful. I'm glad it was somewhat helpful. It wasn't completely helpful. I'm just joking. No, it more than likely was somewhat helpful, like you said. I'm a solar leasing sales rep that is having very few appointments set by my telemarketing crew. Telemarketing, just so you know, I'm going to break it down, is something that works, but the ratio of actually closing a sale compared to door-to-door is a lot less. So telemarketers, they literally have to call and contact or get machines to call and contact over and over and over and over and over and over and over again till they finally get somebody interested. Does it work? Absolutely. Telemarketing offices work, or else telemarketers would not be telemarketing. So telemarketing does work, but you can't have high expectations. The type of sale is completely different too. If your telemarketing crew is setting up an appointment, remember, they can get so frustrated to the point, those telemarketers, they're calling and calling and calling, not getting anybody at least remotely interested. And the second they get somebody remotely interested, they may lie out of their golden tooth just to get you that appointment. So when you go to that appointment, the guy's like, what are you talking about? This doesn't happen all the time, but what are you talking about? I thought you were coming here to hand me a pamphlet. So understand, telemarketing works. You got to set it up the right way. It's a lot of work, which is fine, and I'm not bashing it. It's something that's super good. It just needs to be done right. You need to have a proper manager managing the telemarketing office and the quality of leads that are coming in and going out, and the quality of reps. And it's a whole crew of itself. It's a whole topic of its own. So I've never done door-to-door before in any capacity. My sales manager has spoken to me about canvassing before, but until today, I didn't even know what that was. Yeah, door-to-door sales is knocking on doors. And it's, ups and downs, just like telemarketing is, but you'll learn it. It just takes a little bit of time. So all I was doing was putting door hangers on doors in hopes of a response. Big waste of time. Now, what is a big waste of time to you? Did you get any calls off of it? I'll tell you, you need to flyer more and more and more these days to get one sale. But the question you need to ask yourself, is it profitable? And are you wasting time? How profitable is it compared to the amount of time you're putting in? So if you're like, let's just say a salesperson and you're just putting flyers out, you're going out, you're not talking to anybody, just flyering, you're wasting your time. But if you're a salesperson that's knocking on doors and they don't answer, then you put a flyer in, well, you're leaving a footprint there and you're talking to the people that you're potentially about to sell. So there's a big difference there. That's why I say, if you go to doortodoormastery.com and the resources where I actually have that inexpensive prints, I used to print a ton from them. They send it to me and I'd actually have my door knockers fly around neighborhoods or hand, fly around neighborhoods that they're knocking on and nobody answers. Let me clarify that. But then also the people they actually talk to, okay, they actually hand them that flyer and their response was awesome. They were getting 10 sales off of it for every literally 100 to 300, 100 I think it was, of these postcards that they're handing out to people who they've talked to. So it increases as you communicate. That communication needs to be there. Okay, why do you think ads these days on TV are less and less effective? DVR, PVR, people are fast forwarding them. They're being seen less. Also, the way that people are advertising these days are different than it was before. So times are changing. It only means you got to keep up with the times. And again, that's a topic of its own as well. So all I was doing was putting door hangers on the doors, big waste of time. So what is the real difference in door-to-door and canvassing? Well, door-to-door and canvassing is pretty much the same thing, except what I call canvassing and compared to door-to-door, you're knocking on every single door. Canvassing are people who typically like to pick certain houses based on the way they look or the neighborhood they're in. They cherry pick houses. This one has a sign. This one has 5 people that have solar on the block. Canvassing in that aspect, that's what I personally believe that they are. But pretty much door-to-door and canvassing are the same thing. I don't recommend canvassing. I do recommend door-to-door. Every single door, and I've proven it time and time again, where I was driving a van full of 15 people, 15 door knockers, and who wants to take this turf? Who's going to go out here? And I sit at the front. I'm waiting. I'm like, fine. You know what? Nobody wants to get out here. Stop. Park the car, knock on that first door, walk out, and if you're ever in my van when I did that, I would close that. I would do everything to close that sale to prove to the whole van that, look, you guys are walking away from money because it's all in your mind. What's wrong with this turf? What's wrong with this neighborhood? What's wrong with that door? How do you know that person's a sale and this one's not? I understand some people like takeovers and yada, yada, yada. I hated those personally, but there's certain houses that people like. Okay? So understand this. Going door to door is how I made my money. I did not focus on, this house, that house, this house. Now, as I'm going door to door, there were certain ones like, if I seen an upgraded door and I was selling security for some crazy reason, it told me that these people wanted to invest in their house. I literally felt like that was a sale, and I'd literally get 95% of them. Or I got married in Michigan, so every license plate that I saw said Michigan and I was in Arizona. Hey, how's it going, Michigan? And I'd relate to them. I'd bring that up and I'd more than likely like 80% get the sale. So if I saw somebody walking up to a house and it was a Michigan home, I'm, no, whoa, that's my sale. All right, you can take it, and I'd get the sale. It's crazy, but it's all in your mind. I would go door to door to door to door to door. Okay. And when I see that home that I like and enjoy, it's like I not use that much more energy, because I hate to say that. A little bit of me obviously did. It put that much more potential, but you're always putting your extreme potential at every single door so that you can milk out that sale a lot quicker. So I've got to do something. I've got to do something to drive sales for myself and make commissions. We don't sell on the spot. It can't be done that way because we are dealing with tax credits from the state and government. So all I'm trying to do is get their attention, get them interested, and set up a time to see if they qualify at a later date. There is no money out of pocket guaranteed, saving them as well, $2,400 of energy efficiency updates to their homes. Help me, please. I've seen where an alarm company purchased a solar sales company, and most, if not all, of the sales force and former Mormon missionaries, because they were so used to having doors slammed in their faces. Sorry, I was going slower because I wanted to make sure there's no, I should have read this before, but there's nothing wrong with it. You said you read all your emails and I will await for your response. Oh, wow. Yes, I do read all my emails. There's living proof right there, Lee, and I'm going to email you back saying you've been chosen this email on the actual, on the show. But yeah, okay. Solar sales. Don't tell me, number one, if you're doing solar sales, do not tell me that you can't close on the spot. Now, for the most part, you're right. You definitely can't close. Like, it takes longer with solar sales. You're building your pipeline. I know a lot about it. I've put a lot of door-to-door salespeople in solar sales for different solar companies. So I know a lot about the industry. And they do save money, but how much do they really save? I found out that solar sales is a longer-term thing where you're building up your pipeline and then you're closing these sales. So yeah, my good buddy over at Fluent, who owns a home security company and as well a solar company, they've now expanded into the San Francisco area, and they're doing very well. They're doing phenomenal out there. But it's completely different. Trust me. It's the same thing, door-to-door sales, but it's completely different of a sale. So you got to build that pipeline. You got to talk to qualifying people. Yes, qualify the people, put them in a pipeline. And if you're listening to my podcasts, in episodes prior, I gave you free information about building a squeeze page. Every single solar salesperson, I'm giving you the tools and resources, need to build a squeeze page and a follow-up series of actually emailing your potential customers. What does that mean? So you get their email address, you put it in an actual subscription where they subscribe on your website with a video squeeze page and a landing page. You want me to tell you the details of that? It's not going to be on the show. You can Google it and find out the answers to that. But if you want autoresponders and stuff like that, I will be adding that to the resources tab. So you can actually do that. Okay. You can actually set those things up. That's a topic of its own. I'm going to get into a podcast of its own on that, but set those things up so you follow in. The people that I've helped to create those things, they've told me that it's actually helped them out a lot. So you can help implement that into your business and see where it goes. Takes time, takes a little bit of work. It may take a little bit of money. Yes, you do have to pay these companies a little bit of monthly to have that stuff. But hey, you get one sale out of it. It pays literally for 6 months of your actual more, like a year or two even. Because in solar sales, there's a lot of money in it. So you got to be reinvesting, okay? Mormon missionaries, it's a different breed. You guys are a different breed out there. So a lot of people want to be the apex, the Vivint of the alarm industry. But they say, how do these people just, get so many of door-to-door Mormon people, for example, missionaries? Well, a lot of them are already in there and they kind of stick together. You can't focus yourself on trying to just go and recruit people like that if, it's not your forte, if it's not your, what's the best word to use? It's not really, your bread and butter. They stick together. And you may be a person who can create, that type of sale around that. That's awesome. Congratulations. But, don't leave yourself in the mental state of, oh, this company's doing that and that company's doing this. Every company is ran differently. Focus on what you can do to better increase your sales, okay? And I'll tell you, the first thing, knock more doors. If you listen to this podcast from the beginning to the end, I will have taught you and trained you and told you ways that you can basically increase the amount of sales through solar sales as well, building that pipeline and staying on top of it, staying on top of your customer. That's the difference, between actual door knocking for solar and door knocking for alarms or pest control or something else. So it takes a little bit more time, okay? I hope that made sense. And I want to thank you once again, everybody, for watching and listening. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much. Hit that subscribe button if you know where that's from. Hit that subscribe button, and every single video that comes out, you will be notified about it. And if you can go to iTunes once again and rate the show, if you have not already done that, please go over there and do it. Rate the show, give it the 5-star rating it deserves that I personally believe, or give it the actual rating you believe it deserves. See you in the next episode.
You have been listening to the Door-to-Door Mastery Podcast. It is time for you to take your door knocking to the next level. Receive Paul's free video series teaching you how to master your opener pitch, understanding your features and benefits, and knowing when and how to close the sale. Be a successful door knocker. Be there now. DoorToDoorMastery.com. That's DoorToDoorMastery.com.